Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing today? How is your week going? How is your day going? How is this moment going? Hopefully, it's going very well. Looking forward to talking with you today. Whew, it's getting a little cold here in Tulsa. 2023. It is in November 2023. So, getting a little cold. And Tulsa, if you know anything about Tulsa, the weather can change. It was 80 degrees yesterday. Today, it is almost 50s or below that. So, good opportunity to hang out with you today and discuss something that is, I believe, is really going to change your life. Like, Anthony, don't you say that every day? Yes. The moment I believe that I don't have something important to say that is going to help your life, you won't find me on. I'm a very low key person, and there's a lot of other things I could be doing. But I believe I'm here on a purpose to help you become your personal best, and I'm also doing that in my own personal life. So, shout out to all the people that take the time to watch and rewatch the Pursuer community. We appreciate you. Shout out to you guys. Man, what an opportunity to be a part of that community. And if you're watching this, go ahead and comment where you're watching from, what state, Oklahoma, wherever you're watching this from, and your name, so that we can shout you out next time or speak with you more in the comment section. If you're listening to this on a podcast form, hello. Hope you're having a great day. My name is Anthony Randolph, and I'm success coaching you today. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, had a moment yesterday evening. I was winding down after my day, and I was looking on social media, and I saw an old video from 2017. In 2017, I was a director of a soccer training organization in Lakeland, Florida. And I remember one of the guys I had the opportunity and privilege of working with, his wife was really, really talented in social media. So she said, Anthony, I think you should do a thing called Motivational Mondays for your organization. It would help the people in the organization, like outside the organization, know you better and also feel a part of the community as far as, AMR soccer goes. So I said, okay. Started doing that, and it was called Motivational Mondays. Motivational Mondays. Did that for as long, pretty much 80% of the time I had the organization, Motivational Mondays, multiple videos out. You can go back and find them on AMR Soccer. I'm just going to Facebook and find that. So the thing about that is, I was watching that video. I was watching those multiple videos, and I was like, wow. I was doing success talks back then. I just didn't know I would be a success coach in 2023. You see, in 2017, I thought, man, I'm doing this to help build my soccer organization, soccer career, soccer business. I didn't know that I was actually going to be coaching people and writing books and everything about success in 2023. It made me ask the question that if I didn't have that preparation right then, where I was sitting in front of a camera doing these kind of videos, not with all not with the microphones, not with the sound equipment, not with all the extra stuff, not with the social media platform that I currently have, not with all that, but less than that, like getting like 10 views. Today, it helps me understand that everything does work out for a purpose, that all things do work together for the good of those who are called according to his purpose. You don't know where that's from? That's from the Bible. It's a principle that things do work out, even when we don't understand it. I didn't understand why I was doing those videos. I just felt like, hey, this is a good idea. She recommended, why not do it? I went back and I listened to those videos, and I was like, wow. Some of the stuff that I was saying, I'm like, man, where did I learn that from? Not saying I wasn't an intelligent person, but what I was saying is, it really hit home when it made me realize that the preparation that I was doing, I didn't see it at the time. My focus was becoming the best soccer training organization in our area first, then in the state, and then expanding further. And it's so crazy to think that we have our own plans, our own ideas. But when we give our plans to the Lord, He'll use those things that we thought were just pointless, those videos that I thought were pointless, that nobody was watching. And now I see those videos and I'm like, wow, the preparation, learning how to speak in front of a camera, learning how to articulate, learning how to treat it like I was speaking to hundreds of thousands of people, even though no one watched. So what in your life, looking back, do you see that has prepared you for where you are now? Maybe it was getting that degree that you thought was worthless. Maybe it was raising those kids or raising someone else's kids, in the fact that if you're a coach or a teacher, that you're like, man, I just spent X amount of years doing this. What was that for? Maybe it was creating that app or creating that video or creating that dish, because you're a chef. All these things, if we're not careful, we'll overlook them because they seem unimportant. Even down to the way you think, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you speak. Those things are cues to where you're going, positively or negatively. The people you're around, the group you run with, those are cues to where you're going. So if you want to know why you are where you are, look back of where you come from. You have to look back to see it. I look back in 2017 and I saw these videos and I'm like, wow, I was doing that years ago, but not with all the stuff that I have now. I'm a lot more, I'm wiser, more careful of my words. I speak from more experience because I've walked through these situations. I wasn't just talking what I thought was right. I'm talking because I've experienced it. So, asking you the question today, when you look back, what do you see? What is something that you thought maybe a year ago, 4 years ago, 5 years, 10 years ago was unimportant, and now you see it as very important in your life? Comment that down below, or you can also go on our social media and direct message us. We'd love to hear from you. What are you doing right now that if you look back years ago, you'd be like, if you told your previous self, I am doing this right now, would your previous self believe it? If I told my previous self, you would be writing books, mentoring and coaching people apart from soccer, my previous self would have fell out. Like, ha ha, fell out in laughter. Because my viewpoint at that time was so limited to, you can only do X, Y, and Z. That was my mentality. That was my ceiling. You might say, oh, why would you have that ceiling? You have your ceiling too. You have your glass ceiling. You might not say it out loud, but you have your glass ceiling. What's your glass ceiling? Maybe it's, well, I'm not educated enough. Maybe I'm not talented enough. Maybe I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm this gender. I'm not this gender. I'm the skin color. I'm this. Everybody has their thing. Now look back to see what the past can tell you about where you're going. And it reminds me, the things that I was doing in the past have now prepared me for what I'm now doing in the future. I always wanted to coach and motivate and inspire people and help them be their best. At the time, soccer was just the method in which, or the vehicle in which God used to allow me to do that. Now I'm writing books, and I'm still using those talks from 2017. I'm just not putting them on paper, and now they're reaching more people than I even thought. It's the same thing. You just have to look back and see it. Maybe you were always good at cooking. Maybe you were always good at designing. Before, it was just stick figures that people laughed at. Now it's masterpieces on art. People go, wow, when did you learn that? And you're like, man, I've been doing this for X amount of years. I just didn't know that it would be on this level now. I've been creating these programs for social media. I've been creating these whatever your thing is. You've probably been doing it for years. It was just under the guise of something different previously. So if you took a moment right now, think back. I want to help you see where your future is going. Think back on the things you've done previously. And then ask yourself this question. How have those things helped me to be where I am now? Some of those things can be decisions that were positive or negative. I'm using the scenario of the videos which I told you about earlier as we were talking, because those things are now being, I got it now. Those things were seeds that I planted years ago in 2017. And now I'm just now bearing the fruit of them in 2023. You see, the things that you did previously were seeds. And sometimes seeds take years to grow. Sometimes because you didn't have the right soil. Sometimes because you didn't have the right environment. Sometimes because we dig them up too quickly because we expected them to grow in a year and they needed to take 5, 6, or 7. What do you need to do right now that is going to help the future you progress even further? What do you need to do right now that is going to help the future you progress even further? Yeah, what seeds can you plant right now? What is that thing that it agitates you so much that you feel like, how come nobody else is doing this? Yeah, I was talking with somebody today, and they had a dream and a vision that they wanted to do. So, yeah, I have this idea to do this, but the people I'm around, they just don't believe it. I said, well, did you at least write it down? He's like, yeah, I wrote it down. Start there. Write it down. Add to it whenever more and more ideas come. One time a week or twice a week, look at the idea, add a little more to it. Because believe it or not, that you may meet somebody 5 years from now, and you may be talking, they'll be like, yeah, man, I've had this idea about da 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 da. And you two may connect, and that may be the thing that makes your family multimillionaires. It may be the thing that causes you both to be internationally known and influence. It may be the God thing that you're looking for. That's it. It may be the God thing that you're looking for, but it'll happen in the past. See, because you can't change today. But what you can do is you can plant the seeds that will affect your tomorrow. You can plant the seeds that will affect your tomorrow. If you start today, you can see results later on. Yeah. If you start, this is what people say, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, good luck. Because tomorrow will be the next day. And then it'll be the next day. And it'll be the next day. Write it down at least. If you say, I want to be X, Y, and Z, write it down at least in your notes and save it in your phone. Once a week, look at it, add a little to it. Sometimes you just need to look at it and remind yourself. So that when you get to that moment, You are prepared mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because those seeds in your heart, in your mind, have had time to grow in the ground of your life. The way I speak right now is not on accident. I speak this way because I'm talking from experience. I've been doing this since 2017 and beyond. I just wasn't doing it on this platform. I was planting seeds of doing this years and years ago. I just didn't know it'd be on this platform. It would grow on this platform. So when people go like, how did you know how to say this, or how did you know how to write this? It's like, hold on, bro. I've been doing this for a long time. What in your life have you been doing for a long time that you just haven't seen the full fruition of yet? Comment that down below. I'd love to talk with you about it. Because I feel like you're watching this today because you need to be reminded that what you're doing is not in vain. That what you're doing is not in vain. That it will produce if you don't dig it up too soon. And sometimes when we bury our dreams, we feel like, oh my gosh, I had to bury my dream of X going to school, or bury my dream of getting this opportunity, or getting this whatever happened. And sometimes when we have to bury our dream, we lose, man. We lose hope sometimes. Come on, I'm talking to somebody. We lose hope because we had to see what we wanted, we put it in the ground. But really what a dream is a seed. And sometimes our tears that maybe we don't show on the outside, but that we cry on the inside, are the water. Because you need to have that water, and then you need to find that right environment, which is going to be your sunlight. Those people that remind you, hey bro, I know it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. Hey, I know this happened, I know you're going through this point, but it's going to happen. Maybe I'm that person for you today. It's going to happen. You're going to see it come to fruition. Just because you thought you buried it, it was actually a seed. Just because you had to cry those tears, it was actually watering the ground. Just because you had to leave that circle of friends that you thought you grew up with them, so you thought they were the people you're going to spend the rest of your life with. God had to remove you from them so he could put you in the right place where people would speak life into what you're doing, so that it would flourish even under the stress and the duress, because the stress and duress of the soil pushing down on you. Yeah, and then lastly, you need to be reminded that sometimes it just takes time before you can sprout up. If you sprout up too quickly and your roots aren't developed, you'll die early. You'll have a good dream, like a lot of people do. You'll talk to them 6 months from now. I have an idea, I'm going to do this. Cool. They start it, and there's no root, and they're gone. And you talk to them 6 months from now, and they're like, yeah, it just didn't work out. Really what it is they didn't take the time to develop it. They didn't take the time to let it develop. They didn't take the time to stay in the right environment. They didn't take the time to have those moments where you sweat over your dream. You cry over your dream so that it produces something that yields a fruit. That it yields a fruit. I'm talking to somebody. That it yields a fruit. Because a lot of times we question, how come it hasn't happened yet, but theirs has happened yet? Sometimes people's dream pops up quick because it's a weed. Not weed, but it's a weed. Weeds pop up quick, but as soon as the weather changes or it's too hot or too cold, they're gone. And we're looking at their social media platform and going, man, how did they blow up so fast? We're looking at how did they get the job? We're questioning how come their kids got in that school? We're questioning how come they got that car? How come they got the financial increase? And really what we need to ask is, am I doing everything that I can do? That's what's going to give you rest when you lay your head on the pillow. Not what they have. But can you be okay with, I don't have what I want right now, and I'm feeling a little bit of unsatisfaction. Good, that's pressure from the soil. So that when you push through, when you that's it. When you push through, you'll know, like, you'll be strong enough to sustain the fruit that's going to grow on you. You'll be strong enough to handle the financial resources that are going to grow on you. You'll be strong enough to be able to say no to that business deal that looks great, but it'll cost you your family. You'll be strong enough to know, like, I don't, even though when people say, oh yeah, I'll be there for you, and they're not there for you. Oh yeah, we'll bring this person to you, and they don't bring them to you. If you don't have that process, you'll sprout up really quick, but then one situation will take you out. And I want to remind you today, the things that you've gone through in the past have been developing you for what you're going to be able to do right now. Don't overlook where you are right now. Sometimes you got to look back to see what's coming ahead. You got to look back to see what's coming ahead. And what I see for you right now is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to not give up. That's what I got to say. It's an opportunity to not give up, because you know something inside of you is like, if I give up right now, it would be too soon. If I give up right now, it would be too soon. And I want to tell you, that is the honest truth. Because everything inside you says, this is not going to work. It won't happen. This is da 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 da. You know the excuses that come to you, or the people that tell you this will never happen for you. Why are you going to keep trying? Why? You have to do it beyond what you feel. Feelings come and go. Truth remains the same. There's always a harvest for every seed that is planted and nourished and taken care of. There's always a harvest for every seed that is planted and nourished and taken care of. It's a principle that works in the earth. If that wasn't the case, we wouldn't have any of the fruits that we have right now. There's always a harvest for every seed that is planted, nourished, and taken care of. It just may not come as quickly as you want it. Can you be okay with that? Look back to see what it is. Look back at all the things that have been preparing you for where you are right now. They're developing you for something special. You have it in you. Survive this momentary season of pressure. Because when you break through, your root system will be good enough to sustain you, and your growth won't just be momentary, it'll be consistent. And the growth that we praise is not the one that happens quick. It's the one that is consistently happening. And they go, oh, this person's still producing good music? This person still has kept the weight off? This business is still growing? Their marriage is still together? They still love each other after all these years? Their kids still want to be with their parents after these years? Those business partners still are friends? They still trust God? See, all these things, the consistent growth is what people praise. But sometimes we want to be celebrated for instant success. Consistent growth. All right, my friend. I feel like I've said what I need to say to you today, and I'm speaking to myself today. Look back to see it. What in your life have you come through that is preparing you for where you're going into? You have it in you. This is your moment. Resist the urge. Let the pressure of the soil, the tears, the sweat, all producing something. If you don't give up. Don't be enamored by other people that shoot up really quickly, because you got to check the root system. You know, this is the phrase, if it's too good to be true, probably is. And then check your heart. If you're so worried about somebody else's success and you can't be happy for them, maybe that's not their problem. Hey, I'm walking with you in this. I'm not perfect. I'm growing in this process too. learning how to look back to see what's in front of me. All right, my friend. I hope you have a great day. Take the time to share this with a friend. Share this with a friend. I believe it will impact their life, give them the hope they need to be able to continue to do what they're called to do. I love you. You're going to have an excellent rest of your weekend, whatever you're watching this or listening to this. And I'll talk to you later.